Okay, I am here reading the Children's Book of Bible Stories on section 11, and the title is Jacob Finds a New Home, in reference to Genesis chapter 28 and 29. Jacob had a long way to go. He walked and walked through lonely country, and at night he lay down to sleep under the stars with a stone for a pillow. That night, Jacob had a dream. In the dream, he saw a big ladder. The ladder stood on the earth. It reached up to heaven. Bright angels were walking up and down the ladder, and at the top of the ladder stood someone brighter than angels. It was the Lord God himself. God spoke to Jacob from the top of the ladder. He said, "I am the God of Abraham, your grandfather, and of Isaac, your father. I will be your God too. I will give you this land where you are now. I will give it to you and your children, and I will go with you wherever you go." Jacob awoke, and the ladder was gone. It had only been a dream ladder. But Jacob knew that God really had talked to him in his dream. That made him afraid, but it made him happy too. Jacob said, "God is here. He sees me." Then he took the stone he had used for a pillow. He set it up and poured oil on it. The oil was for his thanksgiving to God. Jacob said, "If God goes with me and takes care of me, I will serve him. I will give him a tenth part of all that he gives me." Jacob went on again. Jacob went on then. God guided him along the way. By and by he came to a well. A big stone cover lay on the well. There were shepherds sitting by the well, and flocks of sheep lay in the green grass around the well. Jacob said to the shepherds, "Do you know Laban?" The shepherds said, "Yes, we know him. He lives near here, and there comes his daughter Rachel." Jacob was glad to know that Laban lived near. Laban was his uncle, so Jacob watched the girl come. She was bringing the sheep to the well for water. When Rachel came near, Jacob took the big stone off the well. He helped Rachel give the sheep water. Then he told her that he was her cousin. And this is a picture, I guess, of them. There's a sheep, and she's carrying the bucket, and he's standing right there. So that is that's Jacob and Rachel. Okay. All right. Rachel was glad to meet her cousin Jacob. She ran home to tell her father. Laban, Rachel's father, soon came running to see Jacob. He threw his arms around Jacob and kissed him. "Come with me and live at my house," he said. "My house shall be your home." So Jacob went with Laban. God had guided him to a new home. Jacob worked for Laban many years, and at last he married the beautiful Rachel. Okay, section 12, titled Joseph the Dreamer, and it's in reference to Genesis chapter 37. Jacob put up his tents in the land of Canaan. He lived there with his big family. Jacob's 12 sons grew up. They helped to take care of the sheep. Jacob loved Joseph best of all of his sons. He loved Benjamin very much too. Benjamin was the youngest, but he loved Joseph best of all. One day, Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful coat. It was a coat of many bright colors. Joseph was happy with the coat. He liked to wear it. But Joseph's brothers were angry. They said, "Our father does not give us such pretty things." And they began to hate Joseph. Once Joseph dreamed a strange dream. In the dream, he and his brothers were out in the field. They were cutting grain. Each one had a sheaf of ripe grain, and the sheaves of the brothers all bowed down before Joseph's sheaf. Joseph told his brothers the dream. They said, "Do you think that we shall all bow down before you?" And they were more angry than ever. Joseph's brothers were shepherds. Often they went far away from home to find grass for their sheep. One day Joseph's father sent Joseph to find them. Joseph went a long way to find his brothers, and they saw him come. They said, "Here comes the dreamer. Look, he is wearing his beautiful coat of many colors." Then they were angry again. One said, "Let's kill him." When Joseph came near, the brothers took hold of him. They pulled off his coat, and they threw him down into a deep well. There was no water in the well, but it was a deep, dark hole. Joseph begged his brothers to take him out. One of the older brothers felt sorry for Joseph. That was Reuben. He thought, "Well, nobody is watching. I will take him out." But after a while, some men came along riding on camels. Joseph's brothers saw them come. They said, "Let's not kill Joseph. Let's sell him to these men." Reuben was gone just then. So the other brothers took Joseph out of the well. They sold him to be a slave. The men with the camels gave them money and took Joseph away. When Reuben came back, he looked into the well. Joseph was not there. His brothers told Reuben what they had done. Reuben said, "What will we tell our father?" The brothers said, "We will kill a goat and put blood on Joseph's coat. We will send the coat to our father. Then he will think that a wild animal killed Joseph." They did kill a goat. They spattered blood on Joseph's coat. When Father Jacob saw Joseph's coat all splattered with blood, he said, "Joseph is dead. A wild animal surely killed him." And he was very sad. But the men with the camels took Joseph far away to Egypt. There they sold Joseph to be a slave of a rich man. Section 13. Title is Joseph in Prison, and it's in reference to Genesis 39 and 40. Joseph worked hard in Egypt. He did his best to serve his master, and God blessed Joseph. Then one day Joseph's master believed a lie about Joseph. He put Joseph in prison, but God was with Joseph in prison too. After a while, the great Pharaoh, king of Egypt, sent 2 men to prison. They were the king's butler and baker. Every day Joseph talked with the butler and baker. One morning he found them looking very sad. Joseph said, "What makes you look so sad this morning?" They said, "We had such strange dreams last night. We are sure the dreams mean something." Joseph said, "Tell me the dreams." The butler told his dream. He said, "I saw a grapevine with 3 branches. Leaves and flowers began to grow out of the branches, and then grapes grew. When the grapes were ripe, I picked them. I squeezed the juice into Pharaoh's cup, and I brought the cup to Pharaoh." Then God told Joseph the meaning of the dream. Joseph said to the butler, "The 3 branches are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will take you out of prison. You will be his butler again." That made the butler very happy. Joseph said, "When you see Pharaoh again, tell him about me. Maybe he will take me out of prison too." Then the baker told his dream. He said, "I had 3 baskets on my head, one on top of the other. In the baskets there was bread and cake for Pharaoh, but the birds came and ate it." Joseph said, "The 3 baskets mean 3 days. After 3 days, Pharaoh will take you out of prison, but he will not make you his baker again. He will hang you, and the birds will come to peck at you." That made the baker very sad. And the dreams came true. After 3 days, Pharaoh took the butler and the baker out of prison. He hanged the baker. He took the butler back to his palace to pour his wine again. But the butler forgot all about Joseph.